Do you ever have those days where you're in the classroom and it might be one child, it might be a whole bunch of kids, it might just be, a group, whatever it might be, where you feel like you're being baited, if you will? Let me show you my model and maybe it'll make a little bit more sense for you. Obviously, be willing to accept my little crude drawing here, but these are my classroom desks over here, and like this is me, all right? This is me just trying to teach. I just want to teach today. And then I get this class or these few kids or this small group, or maybe it's just one, who just keeps casting these little fishing lines out here. And I'm over here wondering, do I take a bait? Do I grab it? What happens when they get the hook in a little bit and then they start pulling? What do I do with it? Do I throw it back? How do I deal with that? You have those days. And we always say, just don't take the bait. But it's not that easy. And so I'm going to give you a couple techniques today that I hope are going to be helpful when you find yourself in this situation. So first of all, what happens is that we always have to ask ourselves the question is that when a child throws something out there, or the class kind of gathers and throws something out there, and you're kind of just sitting there and they're waiting to see if they can kind of reel you in. We don't know why. It just happens. Sometimes they're looking for control. Sometimes they're a little bored. Who knows? At this point, I don't even need to know. All I need to know is that I only have control over one thing, and that's my immediate response. I might respond in detail a little bit more later, especially if I feel like I need to have a conversation with that student or that group of students or even my entire class. But at that moment, I only have control over my response. So I'm going to compare it to something that we all live with on a regular basis. When you're out on the street, driving around, somebody kind of cuts you off. Now, we talk about that as an event that happens to you, and these events happen to us all day long, just like when a student casts out some bait and tries to reel you in with a little behavior. So that interrupts the flow of teaching, just like the flow of driving. You just go into the mall, you just want to have a good time. Somebody throws out, cuts you off, does something really terrible, and that's that event. And we've talked about this before, but if we break it down, really when that happens, your automatic thought is to instantly want to respond to it immediately. And I always say, unless there's imminent danger, hold back, take back the control. Because here's what's happening. In a situation like that in public, the other person is trying to take back control. And then we get into that split second where we both want control. The same thing's happening in my classroom here. Somebody throws the bait up to me, meaning that they want control. Now I want control at the same time. And as we know, two controllers at the same moment sometimes don't gel very well. So I have to now take that moment, that STP, remember STP, stop, think, and process. But you do it in the split second. That's what makes it so hard. As I got to stop, think, and process. This is bait coming at me, Polly. Don't take it. Throw the hook back, drop the hook, change my point of direction I'm going. I might just say to the child or the kid, say, okay, hold back for a second. I think it's time for us to take that 5 minutes of meditation. Or maybe, oh, I got a song for that. Or whatever it is. Or maybe I just don't even respond at all. As we say, sometimes the best response is no response at all. See, so that event just got thrown at me. Same thing in traffic. Somebody cut me off. As long as I'm safe, take that breath, let that person get around me, let them go. That's not easy. Our automatic thought wants to take back that control. But we got to change that perception, because if we don't, we get emotional. And that's where that kind of power struggle comes. So we want to be able to shut that down. So I'm going to show you another little thing here that might be helpful that kind of shortens up this whole thing. And it's based on a very well-researched model. William Glasser used to talk about it this way. He used to say, event plus response equals what you get. Okay, or the behavior that you're going to get back. So the reaction. So if the event plus your response equals what you get, then it makes perfect sense that if that event, the bait getting reeled out to me, and I add my own automatic thought to it, which is, I want control, but as soon as I do that, my perception is such that I want the control back and I don't like what's happening right now. Now, if I don't catch this, the emotion, I'll only respond with the emotion, which is trying to take back the control. So my response has to interrupt that cycle so that in the end, what I get is a better behavior from everyone, because I didn't allow myself to take the bait, swallow the hook, let my emotions get in the way, and therefore end up in that power struggle. So this is a lot to digest here in this video right now, but I hope it was helpful to kind of give you some really concrete things to think about. It's easy to say don't take the bait, all right? But it's much more difficult when you're in the situation when it's dangling in front of you.